Hello and happy Sunday. This is Kelly with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and today is Sunday, September the 29th. The next time I see you all, it will be October. I know, shocking, right? So I've been yapping about apple season. If it's going to be October in a couple of days, I guess we can go ahead and start celebrating pumpkin spice season. I guess I'll give you all that. But I hope everybody's had a great week. If you are here from Alabama, Florida, Georgia, East Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, I'm not sure how far Helene went, but if you're from one of those areas, please let us know how you are. We really seriously dodged a bullet here in Knoxville. I won't dwell on it too much, but do check on your friends, family members, and loved ones that are in those areas, because she was a beast. Hello, Marlene. It's good to see you. Yeah, she was a beast. She was really nasty. And hello, Catherine. We have endured days and days and days and days and days of rain here. Hello, Lynn. But it's nothing compared to the people just a little bit east of us. Hello, Marianne. And to our neighbors to the south in Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. And hello, Elaine. No, I didn't hear how Eastern North Carolina and South Carolina fared, but Western North Carolina that attaches to our state, not so good. Okay, so we're not going to dwell on that too long. Just check in. And Scott is back in the house. So everybody say hello to Scott. He's been back from a little, I don't know, he's just had a little field trip. Scott's been on a little field trip somewhere else. So everybody say hello and welcome back to Scott. And let's see, Rosie, it is so good to see you. And hello, I think I skipped Elaine. Hello, Elaine. Hello, Sherry. Hello, Sandra from Dingman's Ferry. Good to see you. Marlene says lots of rain in Baltimore. Yeah, she's a mess. And hello, Barbara. Yes, thank you. Oh, thank you, Barbara. And Catherine, thank you so much. Catherine has already sent stars. She has sent 99 stars. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was so sweet of you. That helps to pay for everything that we do here at If You Have an Egg. And hello, let's see, greetings. Sarah from Raleigh, Massachusetts. Yeah. Oh, yeah, good. Y'all, welcome Scott back. It's been a minute since we have seen him. And hello, Melissa. I see you sneaking in there. So, Melissa, how was the weather over in Powell? I know we're not that far apart. And hello, Karen. Good to see you, too. And hello, Orlando Debbie. How are y'all doing down there? Yeah, so it's been a minute since we've seen everybody. We skipped last week. Hello, Carol Lou. We skipped last week so that we could celebrate Bo's 3rd birthday. Yeah, she is a trip. Yeah, if y'all ever get a chance to meet her, she is hilarious. And hold on, I've missed some people. Hello, Anna. Yeah, Anna, and welcome. She says, welcome back to Scott. Hello, Hattie. Hello, Sherry from beautiful, from Grateful. She is Grateful in Cape Coral, Florida. I can imagine. Yeah, no thank you. As nasty as Helene was when she got to us, don't even want to be at ground zero at all. That would have been, yeah, no thank you. And thank you, Barbara, for that. So we skipped last week. Yeah, I know, Debbie. Yeah, Debbie says her side of Florida is pretty good, but the Orlando side is a total mess. So Eastern Tennessee, the east, like probably, I'm going to say 40 minutes east of here, I guess. 40 minutes east. I live in Knoxville. 40 minutes east of Knoxville over into, so from Tennessee, from our part in Tennessee, about 40 minutes over, and then into Western North Carolina, complete and total disaster zone. Not going to go into too many great gory details, but it's bad. It's really bad. We have an entire town in East Tennessee that is trapped. Like they can't leave their town. Hello, Trish. Good to see you. Like they can't leave their town. There's no way to get them out. And they're trying to send people to get them out because bridges have collapsed. Part of the interstate is washed out. Interstates, in case you were planning on visiting this area, you're going to have to stop here in Knoxville and see us. You're not going to be able to travel on to North Carolina for a little while just because there's so much going on. Okay, so we're not going to spend the whole time talking about the weather, but I just hope everybody will check in and let us know that you all are all safe. My name is Kelly. I'm with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. This is chat number 382. So brand new people, you're going to have to say hello. You're going to have to let us know that you were there, and you're going to have to let us know that you are new so that we can welcome you like we all just welcomed Scott back from a little hiatus. He was on a little hiatus from the chats for a little bit, but he is back now. But this is chat number 382. So new people, you've got 381 chats to go back and watch, listen to, however you want to handle that. You can watch them on Facebook, or you can go to youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg, and you can see them or listen to them all there if you don't have time to watch them. And hello, Katie, good to see you. A little bit of news from this last week, because again, I missed a week. And hello, Barbara, good to see you. I missed a week because of Bo's 3rd birthday, but it was well worth it. So this week we do have a new challenge. Julie over in our If You Have an Egg Facebook group has posted a new challenge. She's having a little issue like I am with the Discover Content tab not being quite what it was. So, and aloha Kathy. So we, this week, she's doing a workout move it challenge. So you know what? We can't go check out the weekly content. So Julie's just decided to take matters into her own hands and set up her own weekly challenge. So this week it is the workout move it challenge. So if you want to hop on over after the chat to If You Have an Egg, the If You Have an Egg Facebook group, you can go ahead and join that challenge. Please do post when you've participated in that. Julie can't know. I mean, like, I know there so many of you all are actually participating in the challenges, but then you don't say anything. And it's hard for us to know that you are actually participating in the challenges and if we should keep them going. Second little bit of news, there is another recall. 2 weeks ago, I told you all about a boar's head recall, and then about there's a brand of eggs that were recalled. Another recall that I think is worth mentioning this week is the one from Lactaid. So HP Hood LLC is the owner of the Lactaid brand of milk and dairy-free products. They have voluntarily recalled 5 varieties of their dairy-free product. It's sold in a 96-ounce container, which is yay big, I guess. And hello, Mary from Pittsburgh. It's about yay big. I didn't get anything out here that's 96 ounces to show you, but it is 5 varieties of their 96-ounce, y'all calm down, 96-ounce product that's been sold in 27 states. There have been no health issues reported, but because the potential contaminant is almonds, and people who are choosing Lactaid for dietary reasons, it could potentially be if a trace amount of almonds got into some of this milk, it could be a real health issue for some people. So they erred on the side of caution. They have pulled these, but let me give you a little bit of information in case you haven't seen that recall. According to Prevention Magazine, the recalled products are 5 varieties of their 96-ounce containers. It is Lactaid whole milk, Lactaid 2% milk, Lactaid 1% milk, Lactaid fat-free milk, and Lactaid 2% calcium enriched milk. Those are the 5 products in a 96-ounce container, and the products were shipped to retailers in 27 states, and those include Alabama, Colorado, Connecticut, Florida, Georgia, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Mississippi, North Carolina, Nebraska, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Texas, Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. The first thing you should be impressed with is these were all state initials, and I remember that from middle school. So I still remember all of my state initials from middle school. Can't still tell you the capitals of all those states, but those are the 27 states. If you believe that you have any of this product in your kitchen or in your home, you can return it to your store and get a full refund, no questions asked supposedly, or you can call the Hood Consumer Affairs Office at 800-242-2423, and that line is going to be open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. Eastern Time to 5 p.m. Eastern Time to let you know if you think you have any of this Lactaid milk. Okay, so that was another little bit of news. Last thing is we will be chatting in the second half about some Weight Watchers news that came to my attention on, I believe, late Friday. There are some app updates that we need to go over, and then there's a little bit of news about some change up in management at Weight Watchers, but I'm going to ask you all, please avoid jumping into that discussion until the second half. I promise I will save enough time to talk about it, and I can answer any questions I can, after that. But please hold down that chatter, because I know a few of you are like, what? So please hold down that chatter until we finish the first half of our chat. Pretty please. Okay, so because I've not seen you all who sat their bottom in a little chair, or who sat their little bottom in a chair either last week or the week before that. Give me some thumbs ups for that. So let me see some thumbs ups if you sat your bottom in a chair. Thumbs ups. I know a couple of y'all did because I personally saw you there. Or let me see if I can make my little thumb thing work. Yep, there we go. Or if you watched live with us 2 weeks ago, or if any time in those last 2 weeks, if you I know, and I saw you. Or if you watched later on demand, let me see some hearts for that. Hearts, hearts, hearts. And that counts if you went to Gwen's Zoom meeting on Thursday. There we go. There are my hearts. That counts if you went to her Zoom meeting on Thursday. It has just not worked out for me to be on any of those. I think I've attended 1 or 2 of those here recently. But this latest time it was because our son-in-law Alan had surgery, and he came home on Wednesday, and our schedule just fell apart after that. Okay, bravo stickers to everyone who went to an in-person workshop. Good job, Scott. Went to an in-person workshop or attended with us. Ooh, Danielle did the Zoom meeting. Very good. So yeah, bravo stickers to you all, and bravo stickers to everyone who was here with us live 2 weeks ago, or if you watch later on demand. And again, that's just on YouTube. YouTube.com, search If You Have an Egg. Okay, so last week, which was actually 2 weeks ago, was chat number 381, and we were talking about strength training. And Scott, don't take this personally, but in particular, we were talking about strength training and why it's so important for women. It's also important for men, but there were some unique things about women that made it especially important for us to do some strength training. Okay, so in the past, when I thought about strength training, I thought about like muscly bodybuilders, in bikinis and stuff, and that's not at all what we're talking about. There are some things that are unique to women when we do some strength training, and that's any weight bearing. It's anything weight bearing. So anything like if you're using your own body weight to do like push-ups, if you were doing squats, if you're using resistance bands, anything just to provide some resistance to your muscles. Aerobic activity is completely different. This is something to strengthen your muscles, provide some kind of resistance. So for women, building and maintaining muscle is important for post and perimenopausal women to combat the loss of muscle mass. Planks is exactly right, Barbara. It can help with metabolic diseases like diabetes. It can help prevent the weight gain that's commonly experienced during menopause, also unique to women. In addition to enhancing your overall quality of life, strength training for women in particular can reduce the risk of age-related cognitive decline, like Alzheimer's disease. It can improve joint and muscle pain management, and it can help with physical functioning. It slows bone loss. A lot of us are concerned about bone loss and osteoporosis. It can help slow that. It lowers the risk of certain kinds of cancers. It can increase your range of motion and mobility, and Karen can tell you that because she's been doing Pilates. And it can cause improved balance and reduce the risk of injury due to falls. So I'm only 57, but I can tell you I am already hitting that age, and especially if I try to walk with my glasses on, I'm already to that age where I'm just not as steady, as I used to be. I have to hold on to the rail if I'm stepping on and off of stairs, things like that. So I encouraged you last week to kind of start at the beginning and just start with a squat. That was 2 weeks ago. I know. But to start with something simple, like maybe to start with a squat, or start with a plank, or even do okay, Barbara just said planks. You could totally do a countertop plank. You don't have to go down, completely on the floor and hold yourself still. I'm telling you, just doing it this way, holding it here, I can already feel some resistance in these muscles. So your homework for last week was start with a squat, and I wanted you to see, if squats were your thing, you could start with one squat, or you could start with a countertop push-up, or you could start with a plank or something like that. So let's see how y'all did with your homework. Deanna has been doing both the countertop push-ups that we talked about 2 weeks ago, these, and she's been doing her squats. She's been doing both of those, so bravo, Deanna. Karen has become so strong and flexible doing her Pilates class that she's been able to pick up a few bar classes. That is awesome and fantastic. And I know when she first started Pilates, the older women that are in there, she was like, they're so bendy and twisty. How do they do that? She is getting bendy and twisty, and she is strengthening her muscles at the same time. And Carol Lou has upped her strength training game by using her exercise bands. So those are those bands that, when you pull or whatever you're doing with them, depending on how thick they are, they can really cause some resistance. But she even dug out her Thigh Master. And if you're old enough to know what a Thigh Master is, you're old enough to be in my club. So bravo to everyone who did their homework. Good job, everybody. And y'all even did it with a 2-week in between, 2 weeks in between. A couple of y'all did it like early, and a couple on my heart finger. It's not a ring. It's not a ring. I'm so sorry. Debbie wants to know what this ring is. It's not a ring. It's a hair thingy. Just in case I needed to put my hair up. But it is cute though, isn't it? Because it's purple. Okay, so let's see. Bravo to you all for doing your homework. Again, a couple of y'all waited until the very last minute to do it. That's okay. It's okay as long as you do your homework. This week, though, we're talking about your own best pattern for eating. So I have a couple of questions, and I want y'all to raise your hands or say yes or no or true or false in these first few questions. So you're going to have to imagine, just for a moment, how hard it is to prepare for a Weight Watchers chat now that the weekly meeting topic is no longer available under the Discover Content tab, which we will talk about in a few minutes. It's not published in any other Weight Watchers format. You cannot go back and look it up. There's no way to get this other than attending an in-person workshop. So you're just going to have to hang with me. It's a little difficult. It's a little interesting. It's a little challenging to try and flesh out these notes when there's nowhere to go back to and reference what you talked about the week before. More about that in the second half, but for now, hang on, and we're going to try and figure this out together. So, is weight loss one size fits all? Like, do we all have to do this exactly the same way? No pun intended there. You know, let's dig in and find out. Okay, first question. First three, I'm going to give you all 3 fact or fiction questions. So I need to know, is it a fact? Is this question fact? Or is this question, or this statement, is this statement fact? Or is it fiction? Okay, so y'all can do, please don't do, you can do thumbs ups, but please don't do thumbs downs, okay? I don't really want those on our chat. But are these three statements fact or fiction? And if you were at Gwen's meeting Tuesday night, no cheating, because I used 3 that she did. So the first one is, you have to eat breakfast every day. So you must start your day every single day with breakfast in order to lose weight. Is that fact or fiction? You have to start your day with breakfast every day. Have to start it with breakfast. Is that fact or fiction? And I'll just sing a minute. Debbie says false until a couple of y'all have answered this. So Orlando, Debbie says false. Cheryl says false. Lynn says no. Ann says fiction. Okay, correct. Katie says fiction. Correct. You do not have to eat breakfast every day. Okay, you just don't have to. Second question, 3 meals a day, eating 3 solid meals a day is the only way to keep your metabolism. I almost said metabolism. I don't know why. I don't know. Anyway, eating 3 meals a day. 3 meals a day is the only way to keep your metabolism in check. Okay? So 3 meals a day. Is that fact or fiction that you have to eat? I mean, at least 3 meals a day. Fact or fiction? So I'm getting a lot of fiction. Cheryl says false. Karen says fiction. Hattie says fiction. Sherry says nope. Yep, Hattie says fiction on that one. Danielle says fiction. And Danielle, we missed you. Where you been? Where you been, girl? Mary says no. Okay, that is false. Brr, it is fiction. You do not have to eat 3 meals a day. There is no magic number of meals a day. You know, we used to say you have to eat 3 meals a day plus 2 snacks, or you have to eat every 2 hours or every 3 hours or something. That is false. There is no magic number of meals or magic time, you know, like in between times. Now, should you eat when you're hungry? Yes. Should you eat when you, like Sarah's saying, should you eat when you need to take medication? That's totally different. Yes, if you need to eat 3 meals a day to take medication, or if you need to eat breakfast to take medication, you don't have, you know, that's false. You don't have to. You do not have to. Oh, and Danielle's having her surgery. I forgot about that. I'm sorry. Okay, well, hopefully we'll see you next week. And please let us know how you did. Maybe you could you post, or could you get one of the girls to post in the squat group how your surgery went? Because that would be awesome if you could check in. Okay, and then the third one is a pound of muscle. Is this fact or fiction? Fiction. Fact or fiction? A pound of muscle weighs more than a pound of fat. So that is the theory that if you work out, that you're gonna, you know, that your muscle is gonna weigh more than what the fat did. So, does a pound of muscle weigh more than a pound of fat? A pound of muscle weighs more than a pound of fat. Is that fact or fiction? Okay, Cheryl says fiction. Ann says fiction. Lynn says fiction. Ann's got fast fingers today. She's answering those super fast. Barbara says it's a fact. Katie says fiction. And Carol Lou says false. Okay, it's false. A pound is a pound is a pound. A pound of water weighs the same as a pound of fat, weighs the same as a pound of butter, weighs the same as a pound of feathers, which would be huge. Weighs the same as a pound, of protein, as a pound of muscle. Yeah, and Debbie just said pound is a pound. A pound is a pound. A pound of muscle is smaller. It is true that a pound of muscle is smaller. It's more condensed. It's more dense, so it takes up less space. Lynn, you're exactly right. Lynn is right. A pound is a pound is a pound. And Melissa's exactly right. So a pound of muscle takes up a smaller space. And this is not how much space it takes up, but just imagine a pound of muscle takes up a smaller space than a pound of fat. So let's say if a pound of fat is that big and a pound of muscle is this big, they weigh the same. Yeah, you're a ninja, Ann. They weigh the same. It's a pound and a pound, but one of them might be tiny and one of them might be big. Does that make sense? Bigger. However, I can do that with my hands. So anyway, a pound is a pound. That's it. A pound is a pound. But like a pound of feathers would be this big. I don't even know how many feathers you have to have a pound. Okay, so that is false. A pound of muscle does not weigh more than a pound of fat. They both weigh 1 pound. Okay, this next section is this the right way to do this? Or is this the wrong way to do this? Okay, so if I start my morning meal, so if I have a morning meal, if I have chosen to eat breakfast, and if I start my day with a small breakfast about an hour after I get up, and then you wait and start your first meal of the day, call it whatever you want to, but if you wait and start your first meal of the day at noon, which one of us is correct? So which one of us is right? If I eat my first meal about an hour after I get up, and I call it breakfast, I could call it whatever, I could call it get-upist or whatever, but if you wait and have your first meal at noon, which one of us, am I right or are you right? Which one of us is right? And Cheryl is right. Yeah, Cheryl and Hattie are actually right. Yeah, both of us are correct. Both of us are right. It's whatever we need. Okay, next question. If you make sure that you have a vegetable at every single meal, so whether you're eating 3 meals a day, 5 meals a day, 3 meals a day and 2 snacks, 5 small meals, whatever you're doing, if you have a vegetable at every single meal, 3, 2, 3, 7, whatever, if you have a vegetable at every single meal, but if I eat all of my vegetables at one meal, so like if I just keep all mine together and I eat all of my vegetables at one meal, are you right and I'm wrong? So which one of us is correct? Sorry. The rain has caused leaves to mold, and I'm a little bit choked up. Yeah, so I'll wait on y'all to answer while I get a little sip. Yep, Cheryl says we're both right. Barbara says we're both right. Katie says we're both right. So, and Rosie says, So Rosie's thinking about it. Okay, last question. If I eat 3 meals a day plus a snack, so let's just say on an average day, if I eat 3 meals a day and a snack, yeah, Lynn says you do you and I will do me. That's exactly right. So if I eat 3 meals a day plus a snack, but you eat 2 large meals a day and no snacks and no snacks, then is one of us right? Is one of us doing this right? And is one of us doing it wrong? What is that? What is that? So like if I eat 3 meals a day plus a snack, but you just eat 2 large meals a day, is one of us doing it right and one of us doing it wrong? Is one of us not doing this right? What do y'all think? Katie says both right. Cheryl says both right. Now Cheryl's got the fast fingers. Cheryl has gotten an answer in there every time, I think. Scott says we're both right. Barbara says both right. Ding, 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 ding. We are both right. It doesn't matter. Danielle says everybody wins. Everyone wins. That's exactly right. So we started this section by talking about your own best eating pattern, okay? Yeah, and Rosie says, we're both rocking. So we started out talking about your own best eating pattern. So we just spent several minutes talking about some myths, deciding if one of us is right and if one of us is wrong, about the times that we eat, about our methods of eating, how many times a day, how many times a day we eat, on and on and on. But good news, Weight Watchers is not a one-size-fits-all program. This program does not put us in the little food prison that we spend all of our time trying to break out of. And I just took some creative license from from a leader who has been with Weight Watchers for a long time. She talks about putting yourself in a little food prison so that you spend all your time trying to break out. We're talking about Weight Watchers is your own best pattern for eating. That pattern is the one that's best for you, okay? So you get to pick what time of day is best to start your first meal. It's up to you. So unless you've got medication that you have to take, you could eat as soon as you get up. You could eat, like when I was pregnant with Casey, I had to eat before my feet ever hit the ground. I sat up in bed and ate a handful of peanuts and drank a little cup of apple juice. You know what? Back then, that's what I had to do. That was my best time to eat. Your best time to start your meals might not be until the afternoon, might be later in the day. John starts eating super early in the morning, but then he stops eating at about 2 o'clock. He gets to pick. You get to do whatever is best for you. You get to pick how many meals a day that you'll have. For me, 3 meals a day and a snack is perfect. Like if I don't have lunch, if I don't get my breakfast, my planned breakfast meal, my planned lunch meal, and then my planned dinner meal, and then a little snack before I go to bed, that's not a good idea for me. Some of you stop early. John stops early. There is no rhyme or reason. And surely you do not need to or have to eat all of your daily points. There are lots of people who have rollovers every day for different reasons. You might not need as much food. You might focus more on 0-point foods. You might be saving up for something else. I tend to use most of my points every day, but I do try to save a few so that I can have something. Like we try to have a special meal on Friday nights, like pizza or something like that. So I try to save some of my points. I don't not eat. I eat every day, every single day. But I try to have some rollover points so that I can use them on Friday. That works for me. That's what I've decided to do. That might not work for you. I know a lot of you really, really enjoy lower point meals, like lower or 0-point meals, and you might have a ton of points left over at the end of the day or even at the end of the week. But you know what? If that works for you, then don't worry about it. As long as you're satisfied, then don't. And Shirley, you are most welcome, honey. Ask me anytime. If I can answer it, I'll answer it. And if I can't, I will ask some of these lovely ladies and Scott to let us know. Last thing is you get to pick how you spend your points. And I think Shirley, that was a nice segue. You get an extra Bravo point for like leading me right into the last statement. You get to pick how to spend your points. You get to decide, are you going to use all of them, some of them, all of them today, not all of them today? I can tell you that my fearless leader, Gwen, uses all of her points every single day. I don't think she ever has a day that she doesn't use, or at least a week that she doesn't use all of her points. And some weeks she's in the negative, and that's okay because it works for her. She has been at her goal weight for like 20 something years now. That works for her. Okay, so your homework for this week is #you pick. You get to pick what time, you get to pick how many meals, and you get to pick how to spend your points. So your homework is #you pick, #YOUPICK. And you're welcome, Lynn. I made it short this week. But I'll also make this week's homework so easy that you can't not do it. Okay, you have to do it. It's so easy. So you pick. The only thing I'm going to ask you to pick is what time you will start your meals most days. So this doesn't have to be 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Thank you, Lynn, for posting that. It doesn't have to be every single day. But let's say on a general average, most days on a normal day, #you pick what time you're going to start your first meal. And remember, nobody is right or wrong. You might say 6 a.m., noon, 2, whatever. You pick. So you pick what time you're going to start your meals for the day and let us know. That's it. That's all you have to do. But picking what that normal first meal time is going to be for you every day, that is actually a step towards figuring. It sounds simple and you're like, okay, Kelly, who cares? Who cares what my start time is in the day? But picking that, so deciding what time you're going to start your day, no matter what time it is, that is a good first step towards figuring out what your own best pattern is for eating. So I've tried new and like John. I have tried starting earlier in the day and eating up until 2 o'clock and then not eating until the next day. That didn't work for me. That is not going to work for me. I have tried eating every 2 hours. That didn't work for me at all. So my you pick is I eat my first meal at about 6 o'clock every morning. It's about an hour after I get up at about 6 o'clock. So I get up, take my medicine, drink a big glass of water, go to the bathroom, do all that kind of stuff, take my shower, and by the time I get back out to the camper, it's my first meal time, but I get to pick. Okay, so hashtag you pick, do your homework, do your homework, do your homework. I have accidentally scurried over into the second half, so we're gonna quickly do our mid-break things here, so that because we do have quite a bit to talk about in the second half. If you were brand new, this is a 1 hour chat, and yes, Sandra, it is time for some water. This is a 1 hour chat. In the first half, we talk about Zen, Kelly, breathe, whatever the Weight Watchers topic was for the prior week, if I can figure it out or remember or attend. And then in the second half, we do something fun. Today's not so much fun. It's a little bit, it's okay. Carol, you do you. If it needs to be different every day, that's totally fine. You do not have to start at the same time every day. So just say, on most days, I'm going to do X, or I'm going to do something different every single day. But if you're new watching this, we're going to the second half. It's not going to be fun, but it is informative. In the second half, I hope that you all will find it informative. But right now, it is time to drink some water. So this is the only time all week that I know that y'all had some water. I'm watered out. It's rained and rained and rained and rained and rained, and I've consumed almost as much water as it has rained. Just kidding. So instead, I'm going to be drinking some hot tea, and I told you all that I caved and went ahead and let pumpkin spice season start. So this is Tezo Chai pumpkin spice hot tea. Everybody stop and get your drink of water so we can move on to the second half. Okay, and we will hope that that hot tea soothes my leaf mold throat. Okay, so new people, even though we are not cooking anything, I'm still going to put on my apron so that Casey knows when the second half of the chat starts. And yeah, so Carol Lou, Cheryl, and Debbie, and Vicky, no, tea does not keep me up at night. So that one, I'm sure has caffeine in it. For those of you who, if caffeine does keep you up, do a caffeine-free tea. Yeah, this one's got caffeine in it, so maybe drink this one in the morning if the caffeine keeps you up. Okay, so this is the second half of tonight's chat. We have, and y'all have been so good. Thank you all for not about what's going on right now at Weight Watchers. That's going to be the last thing that we talk about. The first things I want to talk about are a few changes on your Weight Watchers app, and if you haven't seen these yet, you might want to like force update your app. I had to on my phone. I actually had to log out, like log completely out, and then log back in to get these to take effect. I did not have to do it on the iPad. I do not know why. I have no explanation for why. But the first thing I'm going to show you is on the home page now. When you first load up your home page on the WW app, you're going to have a new section. If you haven't seen it or noticed it yet, you're going to have a new section right here that says, sorry, I just gave myself the hiccups. It says Meal Inspiration, Simple Recipes, Big Flavor. And what they are doing here is they're trying to, like, as you're tracking things or things that you're scanning, or because y'all know we're being tracked everywhere all the time at every moment, right? So just breathe and try not to worry about it, because it doesn't matter what you do, and it doesn't matter if you don't want to be tracked, you're being tracked. So you can think you're doing whatever you want to do. So, but sometimes it's a good thing. So like I get coupons from Kroger all the time, so I don't mind. And like Kroger customizes my coupons. So even though I probably should be worried about it, I'm not, because I get coupons that I could actually use because they customize it to me. So that's what this is doing. It's customizing it to you, and it's going to learn you. So like right now, mine are completely random. And so I have like hoisin glazed tuna with some kind of sauce, turkey meatballs, pork lo mein, shrimp scampi. So it has just randomly chosen some things to suggest as simple recipes with a big flavor. You can scroll over. There is a section that says, how are we doing with our recommendations? So if you think, man, you know what? They are spot on. That's exactly things that I would have looked up. I know, Debbie, it does. And it terrifies me, but I just have to, it's coming. It's coming, so I just have to embrace it. But you can let them know. So if you think, you know what, they are spot on. Those are totally things that I would want to make or try or eat. Then you can click the thumbs up. And where it says, how are we doing? Let's see, how are we doing with our meal recommendations? So you can do a thumbs up. Or if you think, that's crazy, that's not anything I would eat, I would never eat that, you can do a thumbs down, and it will keep learning, and it will keep learning you and what it needs to suggest. So you can go over to all these things. At the very end, it says, looking for even more meal inspiration, see all matches. That should be the cue or the clue that it is matching what you're tracking. It's matching like what recipes you look up and what recipes you use, or what you're posting or things that you're scanning, okay? Because it says how, let's see, looking for even more meal inspiration, see all matches. Now, first question we had was, how do you get rid of this? You don't. Right now, this is hard coded in, I guess, to your app, but if you don't want to see it, there is a little, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a little up caret right there. It's that little, it's just a little up caret. That, let me see if I can do it upside down. You touch that and it minimizes it. So that minimizes it so that you can go straight to tracking for your day, or go to your other, things. So that way you minimize it, but you cannot completely get rid of it. You cannot remove it from your home screen. Okay, that was one thing. Next thing is, if you go to your little picture on the home page, so if you go to that little icon on your home page, and if you go to, there's settings and then there's health settings. So I know some of you that have started taking GLP-1 medication, or you have diabetes, or you're pre-diabetic, or you need to start tracking that, or you need to start tracking differently. That is where you go. So when you go into settings and then go into health settings, then your options are going to be, you're either living with diabetes, and you can toggle that on and off. And let's see if I can do that. Whoop. Come on, toggle. Okay, so you toggle it on, and it's going to change what your 0-point foods list is. I'm going to toggle that back off because I'm not diabetic. Or you can toggle on, and now it's changed back to my 0-point foods. Or you can toggle on that you are taking a GLP-1 medication, and then you get this whole thing, and I can't go into it because I am not taking one, but you switch to the GLP-1 program experience. There are tailored nutritional targets, go-to food recommendations. It keeps your app history and data, and you can switch back at any time, so you can switch back and forth. I'm not going to do that since I'm not on a GLP-1, but somebody asked how to, they're like, okay, well, I just got diagnosed with diabetes. What do I do? How do I change that? That is how you change that. Okay, next thing, and I'm not happy about this. We talked about this last week, and I've fussed about it a couple of times. Julie has fussed about it. I'm with you, girl. High five. Julie has fussed about it when she needed to do our challenge for this week. I don't like it. I don't like it, don't like it, don't like it, don't like it, but I don't know who to call about it. But if you go here to your little icon again, and if you go down here to discover content, you used to be able to pull up a weekly topic. Well, now the weekly topic is no longer there. So now it says our best mindset and behaviors change strategies. Explore all of our proven techniques in one place. And there's a technique library. And if you touch that, you can go to the technique library, and it does have, if you keep scrolling down, it has all of the old ones. It has like the old weekly topics, but as of, I think it's 3 weeks ago, I believe, so maybe the beginning of September, there are no new, see how these have these really pretty little you know, graphics and whatever, and you can go into them. Well, now the old ones are just a library, just a library, you know, for you to check into. And you can go here by topic, you know, what we can help with. It has all of these different topics, and if you touch one of them, it will take you down to that topic. But again, there are no new ones. So that's under Discover Content, Carol Lou. So if you go back to your home screen, and then let's see if I can do this. Oh, and I can't read that. So you just touch your little icon. That's where the three horizontal lines used to be, and now you just touch your icon, and then you go down here to Discover Content. So on my iPad, it's almost all the way at the bottom. On my phone, I have to scroll up a little bit. So you touch Discover Content, and then go right here to the library, to the Technique library. I'm really irritated with this. So I didn't call. So during our Weight Watchers meeting 2 weeks ago, Gwen had me, she had me get on the 24/7 chat. Why? Hold on, Sarah, calm down, just calm down, Sarah. So Gwen had me get on the 24/7 chat during our meeting, and I tried to ask, you know, hey, where did this go? And I definitely did not have a human. It just kept circling back. It kept circling back and circling back and circling back. So the next day, I got on 24/7 chat while I was at work, and while I was at work, because I could just let it keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. So I just kept bugging the computer, bug. Nope, not there. And it basically asked me if I wanted to talk to a human, and I said, yes, please. So I got a human on the 24/7 chat, and here's what the human told me. The human said that the bot was incorrect. She said that the day before, when I was on the 24/7 chat, and that it kept saying that it was there, she said the bot was wrong, that it hadn't been updated yet. The weekly meeting topic will no longer appear on the digital format. So if you are online only, if you're digital online only, you will not be able to see what a weekly, as of right now, and I think it's a really bad idea, but you will not be able to see a weekly meeting topic. You will be able to, so Carol, they already gave me the answer. So they said right now, like effective almost immediately. Actually, she acted like it wasn't coming for another couple of weeks, but it's here. I'm telling you, it's already doing it. If you are digital online only, there will no longer be a unique weekly meeting topic. But if you go to an in-person workshop, there will be. There is just there's nothing to back it up. Like, you no longer get a piece of paper. Like when we go to in-person workshops, we used to get a weekly topic, like a piece of paper. Then it used to be a big piece of paper. Then it moved to like a half-size sheet of paper, but it was thicker. Then it was a half-size sheet of paper, thicker half-size sheet of paper. Then a recipe on the back. Then. Okay, so I said, well, wow, that's really not convenient for people who can't attend an in-person workshop. And she kept saying, oh, but the library is great. And I said, the library is great, but really? And I said, and for those of us that go to an in-person workshop, if you missed it, like Danielle's not going to be able to be there Tuesday night. She's having surgery. And luckily, Danielle's got a couple of friends that can tell her what she missed. But there's nowhere for her to go back and reference, what's going on. So anyway, I think that one's a really bad idea. Okay, let me quickly go to this next one, because I could talk about that for like the next 10 minutes. And we have one long, 2 down from this is a really long one. Okay, next, if you haven't done this yet, I actually do love this feature, and I'm hoping live that it'll work like it does in the store. So let's say that I'm at the store, and this would be Aldi. Okay, so let's say that I'm at Aldi, and Mindy says that we should make our voices heard in the chat or at the 800 number. Mindy, do you happen to know, because I have not been able to find it and Gwen has not been able to find it, there used to be on Connect, there used to be a person, it's not a person, but there was a person that did the weekly topic. Do you happen to know what that was called? It was something weird, like it was like mine is at IfYouHaveAnEgg, And thank you, Mindy, for sharing that 800 number. Mine, my user ID is at IfYouHaveAnEgg if you want to chat with me. But it was like at WW_weekly topic or something like that. I've not been able to find that, and I don't know if that still exists or not. But, but anyway. Okay, so I understand. Debbie just said she would call and get out of her contract. I'm not getting out of my contract because they took away the weekly meeting, okay? I'm just saying I think it's a bad idea. And I do think we should complain about that. But I think this one is a good idea. This one, on the barcode scanner, I used to have to, weekly technique, that was it. Thank you, Mindy. So, thank you so much, Mindy. I've not been able to find it. There's not a page to screenshot. So, okay, so Trish is asking, why can't we just screenshot the page and post it on the Facebook chat? I can screenshot the lack of the weekly and then also post the number. Or okay, so I think Debbie's going to do that. We can totally do that. Okay, and then Mindy reminds you, please be nice when you're on the phone. The person who's answering the phone did not make this decision. So the poor person who's either going to answer the phone or be on the 24/7 chat, I was extremely polite. I just kept saying, I really don't think it's a good idea, blah, blah, blah. Because, and I know, and Debbie, honey, you don't have an ugly bone in your body, but please be nice to them because they did not have a decision in this, okay? They are literally just answering the phone. Okay, so anyway, this one I think is a really good idea. So used to, when you would go to the store, so like let's say I'm at Aldi, and I'm trying to decide, do I want the tomato Parmesan bisque soup? Do I want the healthy vegetable soup? Or do I want the Southwest style tomato and black bean soup? And we're going to talk about money in a second, Debbie. So, but anyway, so when if I'm trying to decide this previously, when you touched your barcode scanner, which is right here, when you touched your barcode scanner previously, you had to scan, it pulled up the numbers, get out, scan, touch the barcode scanner again. Now, and I'm hoping that you all will be able to see this. Let's see if I can turn these around and make it work. Oop, hold on, turned them too far. Now, instead of scanning, getting out, scanning, getting out, scanning, getting out, now what you do, let's see if it'll work. So now you can scan it. Let's see. Okay, so there it is. So this one is tomato Parmesan bisque, and it's 9 points for a cup. But if I want to go ahead and scan the next one, you can just keep scanning. So like there's the next one, there's the hearty vegetable gourmet soup. It's 5 points for a cup. And then I can just keep going down the row and I can scan the next one. And I'm making it more complicated because I'm trying to do this backwards and upside down, okay? And then the last one, 5 points for a cup. So did that make sense? So see how it looks a little bit different? So instead of scanning, getting the data, getting out, scanning, getting the data, scan, you can just go down the line and go scan. You just hit scanner once, scan, 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 scan to your heart's delight, pick the one you want and move on. Okay, so that was that last little bit of news. If y'all have any issues with any of these app things, let me know. And I'll be happy to, if I don't already know the answer, I'll be happy to go back and figure out how to do it. Okay, this next topic, I'm gonna have to get a drink. We're gonna pretend like this is a toddy, some kind of a hot toddy. It's not, it's just tea. Okay, Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday while I had my phone turned off, Saturday afternoon, and this morning, I got messages of, oh my gosh, have you seen this? The Weight Watchers CEO has stepped down, and it ranged everything from, hey, did you see that the Weight Watchers CEO stepped down? Here's a bit of news. Here's a bit of news you might want to read. Here's what some other people are talking about. All the way to, so I got several very calm, that's interesting. Did you see this? All the way to, oh my gosh, pick something else. Weight Watchers is going out of business. Okay, Weight Watchers is not going out of business. Okay, so let me just start by saying the Weight Watchers CEO, and I never can say her name correctly, so fortunately she's not there to hear me say her name incorrectly anymore. Okay, so Seema Sistani, and if I said it right, woo, if I didn't, oh well, she'll never know. But Seema Sistani, who was the CEO, notice I said was, of Weight Watchers, stepped down at the end of last week. So that means that she has removed herself from the board of directors. That means she has removed herself from being the chief executive officer. If you've never owned a company or been part of a company who has levels of operation like this, the chief executive officer is the person that oversees everything. Okay, they have groups of people, they have team members under them, they've got board members under them, they've got, like, they usually have a CEO usually has a COO, like a chief operating officer, they usually have a CFO, a chief financial officer, they have a board. The board is like kind of in charge, but they're in charge with the CEO. But anyway, so she stepped down. Do not panic. If you've never been part of a company who had a system like that, or part of a corporation that had that, like, I am the CEO, president, owner, whatever of Casey Kitchen Center, it just means you're in charge, okay? Sometimes being the CEO for me means that you have to take the recycling out every day because the recycling guys won't come pick it up and nobody else is going to take it out. Sometimes being the CEO means you make big decisions about what colors to stock, what market to go into, you know, things like that. But the CEO, Seema Sistani, and I'm not saying it right, anyway, she has stepped down. I want to tell y'all a couple of things before you panic. So first of all, just like a few years ago when we switched programs and everybody was like, we're switching programs, it's all going to heck in a handbasket, blah, 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 you know, just breathe, okay? So everybody just breathe. I want to give you some what may be useless information to some of you, but I just want to tell you a couple of things first, okay? First is to breathe. Just breathe. It's okay. The second thing is I have a question. Have any of you all ever been in the news? And I don't mean like in the news like you were, you know, rescuing puppies during Hurricane Helene. I don't mean that. I don't mean, you know, like you were out rescuing puppies, that kind of news. I mean, like, have you ever been on the news, in the newspaper, whatever, and you thought, that's not how that went down, okay? That is not how that went down. I will quickly tell you, John and I had a charity work. We did some charity work at Casey's school when she was little, and there was an issue. It was an issue with one mom. One mom had a meltdown. One mom called the principal. She couldn't get a hold of the principal. That mom panicked. She called the fire department, the health department. I mean, all these departments, everything she could think of to call. By the time we got to the school, by the time we got the phone call and we arrived at the school, this had gone from an extremely minor, seriously minor situation to there was a girl from the news, one of the news people was dragging a bucket of something out that we didn't even use. It wasn't even anything we used. So it went from a harmless but needed to be taken care of situation, and it got blown way out of proportion. That is the news. That's the job of a good news person. So a good news person takes something and makes it into a story. So if this news person, and y'all hang with me for 7 more minutes, I really want to talk about this. I really do. So if a good news person, if they had said, hey, Seema Sistani won the lottery and she had an opportunity to tour the world with her family, so she stepped down from Weight Watchers, that's not news. No one would care about that. If a newscaster said, hey, Seema Sistani's, you know, she's having some health issues, you know, and she just wanted to, you know, kind of needed to slow down, you know, and she's stepping back, you know, she's stepping away from this. That's not good news, because again, nobody cares. It's news because the way the news presented it is, yeah, we're going to go into overtime like a good sports game. But the way the news, to be a good news story, it says, WW CEO Seema Sistani steps back after promoting GLP-1 medications and the purchase of, what's it even called? whatever the thing is, I know the name of it, sequence after, but it says, again, you have to watch the hands though. Weight Watchers CEO Seema Sistani steps back, abandons her job, whatever, because, after just promoting GLP-1 medications and blah, blah, blah. Sequence. Yeah, right, Scott. Okay, that's why it's news, okay? This is totally normal. It's extremely normal for companies to have people at a management level, to have people at a leadership level. Nobody said, hey, the girl that normally answers the phone at station number 3, she quit Friday too. Nobody, that's not news. That wasn't news. So while you're breathing and just taking it calm, this happens. This is a normal process in life. It doesn't mean anything bad happened. It doesn't, and I don't know. I have no idea what happened. No one called me. Seema did not call me and be like, Kelly, I know you can't pronounce my name, but here's what happened. Okay. So I don't know what happened, but my gut tells me it's just a normal course of business. Things have not, like a purchasing sequence did not make all of their stock go wow. There's a lot of things that go into numbers. There's a lot of things that go into your profit margins. There's a lot of things that go into stockholders and shareholders being happy. It's so many levels that we can't even get into it today. But the one thing that I want to say is it's totally normal. It's a normal part of business. And for anybody who thinks this isn't a business, these are my parting words to you. Weight Watchers was started in 1963 by Jean Nidetch, whose name I also cannot say, but I think I just said it right, by Jean Nidetch in her home because she had attempted a weight loss program and wasn't happy because you couldn't talk to the other people, you couldn't get together, you couldn't share what was going on like we do. Even if you can't go to an in-person workshop now, you couldn't, they kind of discourage sharing. So she started Weight Watchers in 1963. As early as 1964, they started franchising Weight Watchers. So it went from, in a year, it went from Jean in her living room with some other disgruntled ladies who wanted to get together and talk about weight loss to being a franchised business in 1964. They published their first cookbook in 1966 and sold 1.5 million copies in 1966. If you don't think this is a for-profit business, I don't know what to tell you. 1966, I wasn't even born yet, and they sold so they'd already started franchising it, and then sold 1.5 million cookbooks. Yes, they care about weight loss. Yes, they care about our health, but it's a for-profit business, okay? Then Jean resigned in 1973, and she just became like I don't remember exactly what her role was, but so she removed herself from Weight Watchers in 1973, and guess what happened? Weight Watchers didn't end. Jean Nidetch, the founder of Weight Watchers, the person who started all of this in her living room, she resigned from Weight Watchers in 1973. It did not close, okay? Next thing was it was sold to H.G. Heinz in 1978. Wow, for $7.2 million. $7.2 million. Then it sold again in 1999 for $735 million. $7.2 million to $735 million, and it became publicly held stock. Weight Watchers International, there are still some franchises, like I'm in a franchise location, but Weight Watchers International became a publicly held stock, publicly traded stock, November the 15th of 2001. So, for anyone who is worried about Weight Watchers closing down because a CEO who's only been there for 2 years left, Jean left in, what year was it? 1973, and it didn't close down. That's a normal course of business. For anyone who wants to complain about Weight Watchers making money, they are a for-profit business, whether you agree with me or not. I love Weight Watchers. I love going to my in-person workshops. I'm mad as poo over this Discover Content thing, but I understand it is a for-profit business. They have to make a profit or they can't do any of this, none of this. And if you want to complain about them being a for-profit company, you're going to have to go back at least 23 years ago to when it became publicly traded, and probably go back more than 57 years ago when Jean Nidetch herself, when she franchised it and did her cookbook. Okay, that is my soapbox, I guess. That is my encouragement to you that it's not going anywhere. It's changing, but you know what? Look around. I'm not happy about the Discover content. I'm not happy about not being able to get on the computer and look at it. I'm not happy with some of the changes that have been made, but look how far we've already come. So many things have changed. So it's all a sign of the times. Just like Debbie said earlier, AI, so many things are going to AI, and we just have to learn how to use it, how to embrace it, and decide how it affects us. Her resigning on Friday didn't affect anything that you're doing today, okay? So everybody just breathe, just hang in there. We'll figure it all out together. Don't forget to go back and watch last week's chat, or 2 weeks ago, which is here. You just touch right there if you're watching this on YouTube. And again, that's youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg. Go ahead and let that roll over. I promise you will enjoy it. Thank you all for letting me kind of vent about this whole business thing. It just really doesn't affect us. This event Friday really just doesn't affect us here. We're boots on the ground doing it every day. We're really unaffected by this. And who knows, it might be a good thing. It might move it in a completely different direction and actually be a good thing. So remember, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about a setback might actually be a setup. So maybe this is actually a setup to something even better. But y'all have a great week. Thank you for letting me take last week off to celebrate with Bo. Again, so cute if you didn't have a chance to see the pictures. But y'all have a good one, and I will see you again next week. Good night.